The final stop for the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour is the event of Macau. Welcome everybody to the fabled gear circuit. It is round 19 of 20 within the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour, but it is, for our purposes, race 1 of 2 for the gear race. It will follow the usual format of TCR World Tour. In other words, this is the grid based on qualifying times, and tomorrow's race will have the top 10 times and drivers in reverse. Importantly, of course, is the ability to win the gear race. Perhaps more importantly, there's a championship at stake. It's between Yann Erlaché and Ted Bjork, teammates for the Link & Co squad. And the championship promises to be a very dramatic outcome over the course of the weekend. Down on the grid, you can see Alex Legui, a new friend. We'll hear from Alex, maybe not the new friend in due course. You can also see the rest of the grid. David Addison and Alan Hyde are trackside, and we have got a lot to look forward to in the course of our first 10-lap race. It's coming up here from Macau.
Here we have it, the streets of Macau, the legendary streets where legends and heroes are made. And today it could happen. We could crown the king of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. This is the race, and all eyes are on this gentleman here, Yann Erlaché, who is 36 points ahead of Ted Bjork. So, mathematically speaking, Yann needs to finish P1 or P2 today in this race. However, Ted Bjork is not going to make it easy. He starts in P3, so anything could happen, as we well know. But yeah, all eyes are on that man. But also, all eyes on this gentleman here, Bebu Girolami. Not my eyes, unfortunately, because I'd quite like to have a word with him. No, all right, never mind, we'll come back to him. He made an absolutely mega qualifying lap yesterday. He pipped Yann right at the very end. Yann actually hit the wall at T4, so he came in a little bit earlier. Thought he was comfortable, but Bebu then smashed out a brilliant lap. Right, we know the Hyundais have brilliant straight line speed. We don't know who's going to be off the mark quicker of the two of you, but what we do know in Macau is the person that gets that first corner is the person with the biggest kahunas.
Yeah, kind of. You know, here the most critical part of the race is actually from here to Lisboa corner. Then is a bit more settled. As you say, there is a couple of cars behind us that have a big advantage in top speed. So we will now focus on the start, trying to get a good getaway from the position, and then we will adapt corner per corner our track position and try to make the most out of it. I really want to score a podium here, even if the big picture we need to think about is the championship.
To what extent, though, in reality, for Yann Erlaché, at the end of this race, you could become king of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour? I mean, what a place and what a time to do it.
Yeah, you know, I have seen Ivan becoming world champion here a couple of times, waking up at 4 a.m. in Europe, and for sure it's a special place here to become champion. We are far away from being champion at the moment. Still a lot of laps to do and a lot of focus to put in. So yeah, of course it's quite a special moment and stuff, but nothing is done yet. So I will just focus on corner per corner and making the most out of it to the end.
Alrighty, powers are on. There he is, Teddy.
Let's go.
Let's go. Go on then. Give us some final words to each other, please, boys.
Flat out.
Flat out.
Flat out.
So let me get this straight. If you get to the first corner, like Ted, there's no team orders. You can fight. There is no team orders. You can fight, and if you were to get in front, then what? There are still no team orders, or do you then protect each other?
No team orders.
No team orders, we race each other like we race everyone else. Cyan Racing is 100% team champion and 100% driver champion. So it will be the first time they let us race, and that's the best for the sport, so looking forward.
Yeah, it's the best for us as well.
We're in a very good position.
Yeah.
You know, it's really nice.
How are you feeling, actually?
It's really nice.
I don't believe him. Right, let's see if we can get to Bebu, shall we? He must be here now. It's about time he gets in the car. Right, where is Bebu, please? Is he hiding? Honestly, these boys... Right, all right, fine. He doesn't get his interview. That's pole man done. Okay, so we've had a chat with Jan Alaché, the Catch the Leader boy, Ted Bjork being very politically correct. Norby Michelitz, again, do you know what? You've got to keep an eye on these Hyundais because they are the dark horses. Norby took his championship here last year. This man knows the streets better than quite a lot of these drivers. One person who doesn't know the streets, and what a rookie start for Nacho Montenegro. This is an awesome place to be for your first foray around the streets of Macau.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's my first time here, P5 in quali. I mean, it's really difficult to be fast here. I was trying to get more confidence since FP1, FP2, and then Q1, and the final lap in Q2, it was really good one. Let's try to focus here in the start. It's difficult the procedure with this car, but I will try to do my best. Yeah. Then Lisboa for sure. Then it's, how we say in Italian, it's a casino. But let's see how it is. Let's go for a good race.
It's incredible. To what extent? So we've heard, you know, the rightful king of Macau, who I imagine is watching, Rob Huff. I think he always said, if you, first of all, if you've still got your wing mirrors, you're not driving fast enough. And I think if you're not terrified, you're not driving fast enough. Would you say that that's accurate? Is that how you're feeling?
I mean, I am 20 years old. I have nothing to lose, so I'm not scared of the walls, to be honest. I mean, here to be fast, you just need confidence. I mean, I have been studying quite a lot this track since the beginning of the year. I mean, the first race that I prepared in the year was Macau, not even Mexico. So maybe that was my trick, I don't know. But of course, I mean, Macau, you don't have to be scared in these walls. Of course, you have to approach every centimeter to be near to the wall. But let's see the race. I mean, I think it's not to push 100% every lap. I think it's 90, but I don't know with these guys. Let's see in lap 2 how it is.
Oh, man. All right, Nacho, have a great one. Love it. Very cool, calm, collected. I'm not sure at 20 I'd have been quite, mind you, I did have a lot of balls at 20. Oh, he's here, look, Esteban. Hello, you. Right, I've got a question for you. Have you finished doing your 3-point turns at Lisboa, or are you going to do some more today?
My what, sorry?
Your 3-point turns. In the UK, as part of our driving test, we have to do a 3-point turn, and I feel like you and Pepe were practicing that yesterday.
The 3-point turns I don't get you.
I don't know how to say it in Spanish. When you go forwards, round, to turn around in the middle of the road.
In Lisboa, you mean? Yes, yes. We cannot tell you why we cannot turn it around with a handbrake, but it's quite obvious that we cannot do that. So yeah, every time we go straight. I think they should do a roundabout for us, yeah? The Pepe and Esteban
just
roundabout.
For you guys, just
to
for
help us out a little bit, yeah. In case the reverse doesn't work.
Yeah, like an alternative Joker lap, just for goat racing.
Why not?
We just spoke to Nacho. How cool is it that he's P5 on the grid for his first time here in Macau?
Very good, very good. Yeah, he deserved it. He did a good season. And of course, it's not easy to be at this level, and to show his capacity here in Macau was great. So happy for him.
Esteban spent the whole year almost in a position to win the championship. Now you can enjoy Macau, you can watch the drama from behind. What are your thoughts on the gaggle ahead, having had so much experience here?
No, I think Jan has it almost secure. I mean, he has more than 36 points lead. He just needs to finish in front or behind Ted. So I don't know. I see probably Norby wanted something more, and we see from the back what's going on there in turn 1, and try to catch some opportunities if possible.
Okay, vamos. Right. Yeah, I think Norby might be a bit of a dark horse, as I said. Let's not also count out Mikel Asconi. He was the fastest man in free practice. And also Max Hart is new on the grid. Also Josh Buchan's desperate to do well, but needs to keep safe for race 2. Oh, there's so much to go. It's going to be so much fun. All right, let's be having Macau. Enjoy.
Alex is excited, and with good reason. We're about to have a champion crowned this weekend around the streets of Macau. bathed in sunshine here. This is the kind of weather that we expect at Macau. High temperatures, really packed grandstands, and sunshine beating down on us for two races for the touring cars. Two races that will decide the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour event of Macau, and also will be decided who wins the gear race tomorrow. Prestigious race for touring cars here in Macau. Well, Alexander heard from a few of the drivers down there on the grid, and I have to say, second in the championship, Ted Bjork sounded remarkably calm and composed, David.
But he's right, they've got absolutely nothing to lose as a team. Nobody other than El Haché or Bjork can win the championship. So, yes, let them fight, and it is going to be a fight. Although you have to say El Haché has looked the quicker of the two thus far, whether it's been across practice or qualifying. But it's a nice situation to know that there aren't any team orders. You can go out and fight, and both of them know the importance, and Jan El Haché touched on it, of getting around Lisboa safely. After that, you can start to plan your race.
And Jan El Haché, the car there, the 168 car, which nestles on the outside of the front row of the grid, is in the front seat. He leads the championship. If he finishes 30 points ahead of Ted Bjork today, then he can secure the championship title today, and then they can get on just exclusively dealing with the very important job of etching your name on the trophy, which is the gear race of Macau. It's a fantastic prospect, and it always feels, coming here to Macau for the final round of a World Championship for touring cars, quite brutal. It's a brutal way to finish, because it is the ultimate challenge, and a championship title is at stake.
The gap at the moment is 36 points. As long as Jan finishes ahead of Ted, he's done it. That's the simplest way to look at this. And if Jan El Haché wins the race or is second in the race, it doesn't matter what happens to Ted Bjork either way. So it's very much advantage Jan El Haché, but we know this is touring car racing. We know this is Macau. Anything can happen. Norbert Mikelic there, starting fourth on the grid in the BRC Hyundai N-Squadra Corsa Elantra. And he's somebody else that's got a good strike rate around here. So he's another driver to keep an eye on, that is for sure. We've also got two representatives from the rather troubled TCR Australia, Josh Buchan, who's going to start 9th on the grid, and Ryan McMillan, who is 15th, having lost his best qualifying time yesterday because he hit the wall coming out of Mandarin and stopped on the track and caused a red flag. And if you're the cause of a red here, then you lose your best lap time. 1:23 is Macau debutant Ignacio Montenegro. Really good effort in qualifying yesterday, and the Hondas that he and Esteban Guerrieri have are on the third row. There's a third GOAT Racing Honda, and it's for the team manager, Pepe Oriola, who's not raced here since 2018.
Which is quite incredible. It feels like for so many years he was right up there at the front of the field, and it feels like just a couple of years ago since we've seen Pepe Oriola here on the streets of Macau. But he knows the circuit. He's got a vast amount of experience, and he might be useful over the course of this weekend. Mikelash Kona was a driver that many of us had picked to be on pole position because in the free practice sessions leading up to qualifying over the course of Thursday and Friday, he was really the one with the target on his back, wasn't he? Incredibly quick around the streets of Macau, but he qualifies down there 7th on the grid on row number 4.
We do have a small number of local drivers, but local drivers nonetheless. There is Ma Xinha, the Chinese driver, although he is a regular within, of course, the TCR World Tour for Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing. But Lo Seho, the Hong Kong driver in his Evolve Racing Hyundai i30, is going to start 10th. We have Sean Chang with the RevX Audi 288. He is on the grid, and the grid rounded out by Andy Liang with the Z-Speed Hyundai Elantra, car that hit the wall over at the Melco hairpin on Thursday, but rebuilt, and Andy Liang a man to watch. So Nestor Girolami, Jan El Haché at the front, Ted Bjork, Norbert Mikelic, row 2, row 3, Ignacio Montenegro and Esteban Guerrieri, ahead of Mikolash and Ma Xinha. Josh Buchan, who's had a race with this year in the championship, starts 9th from Lo Seho. Then Max Hart, late call up ahead of Aurelien Comte, triple winner this year. Pepe Oriola, who's not raced in anything really for about 2 seasons, not here since 2018, is ahead of Sean Chang, Ryan McMillan. Then Santiago Urrutia. We'll come back to him in a moment, and Andy Liang rounds out the grid. Why is Santiago Urrutia so far back on the grid? He had an engine change for which he got a 12th-place grid drop. He then had a turbo change for which he got another 12th-place grid drop. And at one point, we thought he might have to start the race in Kowloon. He was going to be that far away from the grid. But he is there on the penultimate slot, and he's ready to go.
Pole position for Nesta Girolami came almost unexpectedly in qualifying yesterday, didn't it? All of a sudden, the time came through. It was a super lap for Nesta. Takes pole position and lines up in his Hyundai alongside the Lincoln Co. on Yann Lachey on the front row of the grid. And one of the joys of this grid, although it's not as sizable a grid as we've had previously for TCR cars here at Macau, it's a class field, isn't it? A really world-class field of drivers.
It is, and you tend to perhaps focus more on entry numbers, and you're right, it is a smaller grid than in the past, but we've got some multiple race winners, some drivers with excellent CVs up at the front. Nestor Girolami, the pole position driver, twice a winner this year. Yann Lachey, 4 race wins he's had. Ted Bjork's had 3 victories, and Norbert Mikelic has had 2, and he, of course, is the reigning champion. And Nestor Girolami, twice a Super TC 2000 champion in Argentina. Yann Lachey has won in the WTCC in the past. He's been a French Super Tourism champion. You've got Ted Bjork, whose titles stretch back to 1999 when he was winning in Formula 3, the Swedish and the Nordic championships. He's an FIA sports car champion, Swedish GT champion, triple Swedish touring car champion, world touring car champion. Ted Bjork taking on Norbert Mikelic, who likewise has been a champion in Suzuki Swifts, Hungarian Clios, Seat Leon Euro Cup, the World Touring Car Cup, TCR World Tour, 2023-2024. So, you know, there are, as we say, some big CVs at the front of this grid. Ignacio Montenegro was mighty impressive yesterday. He's been a TCR South America champion, but another graduate from single-seater racing. So it's going to be a really fascinating race, this, with the race in isolation to enjoy and the championship fight with Ted Bjork needing to be ahead, come what may, of Yann Lachey.
Quick mention, if I may, for Max Hart, because his week has been stunning, really. He got the call up this week, literally a phone call to take part. He's very, very good around the streets of Macau. A couple of years ago, he won the Macau Touring Car Cup race here. Last year, he suffered disappointment in touring cars here, so there is unfinished business for him. He was a title contender this year in TCR Europe. He got the call up. He was literally asked to investigate flights over to Macau while his girlfriend was packing his bag and getting his race suit and everything else ready. So it really was as last minute as it could be to come here, and so far this weekend has equipped himself very nicely, qualified in 11th.
And can make progress from there, and as you say, he knows his way around this circuit. So a winner 2 years ago in that Macau Touring Car Cup. That was a race for the TCR China Championship in which he was a front runner and the champion. So the car's now coming up to the grid. There at the back is the Hyundai of Andy Liang, but rather rattled itself off the Melco wall on Thursday, but good to go now. The last of the cars slotting into place. There are 1 or 2 nervous faces down in the pit lane, but any moment all those eyes are going to turn to the lighting gantry.
Pensive concentration down there on the pit wall. The green flag is waved at the back of the field. 4 red lights, 5 red lights. Out they go, we're racing here on the gear streets of Macau. And let's have a look who's got the better of the start from the front row of the grid, because from the second row of the grid, very, very keen to get a place up at the start of the race is Ted Bjork, second in the championship and lively away from the line as well. The top 2, though, with the front row of the grid are still side by side, but only just does the pole sitter turn through Mandarin. And Yann Lachey has to settle in behind. Everybody else wants to take that place away from Ted Bjork for the championship. That could be very costly indeed. Less points for Ted in this race, and the championship becomes a little bit more tricky. Into the pinch point number 1 and well done by all, because that could have been a bit marginal.
Yeah, Bjork's got shuffled back in the pack. There was a dreadful start by Norbert Mikelic, and as he was staggering away from the line, Esteban Guerrieri made contact with him. I thought for a fearful moment we were going to have a big accident, but Guerrieri hung on to a tank slap, and there he is, and he is then sitting in 4th place. The race leader is Nestor Girolami, then it's El Haché in 2nd place, and as the cars drop downhill for the first time, Bjork not only is behind El Haché, he's quite a long way behind his title rival, so it's very much advantage Jan El Haché at the moment, but Norbert Mikelic has got to try and regroup and fight his way back up the order. Good getaways also by Ignacio Montenegro as the cars then head towards Teddy Yip corner for the first time, with Nestor Girolami looking now to try to build this gap. 10-lap race. If we get a safety car, that can be extended to 12. Mikael Ashkener is 3rd. Guerrieri, despite his lurid start, we'll get a replay, I'm sure. He's 4th, and then it's Ted Bjork in 5th.
You know, Ted Bjork looked to get a good start and looked to be challenging Jan El Haché initially off the line, and then everybody else took the place away, and he was, as you rightly say, shuffled down the order, which could be significant for the championship decider here in Macau. 2 races, 2 10-lap races, one today and one for the gear race of Macau tomorrow, and they head up towards the no overtaking zone into the Melco hairpin. We've already seen that become a little bit of a serious incident position on the circuit. Serious as far as being on the podium in a race in single-seaters, just a little knock of a rear wheel and all of a sudden a place is taken away at the Melco hairpin, something we've very rarely seen.
Montenegro's dropped back as well off the start, so as the cars now come up through Fisherman's for the first time, Nestor Girolami getting away, and Jan El Haché now can just sit there, can't he? As long as he's ahead of Bjork, yes, he's champion. So, yeah, he'd like to win, but he doesn't need to do anything more than just bring the car to the end.
He's got a very comfy cushion just behind him, hasn't he, as far as the championship points are concerned. They come through and complete 1 lap. They're on lap number 2 now, and Nestor Girolami, pole position, and leading quite nicely, almost a second the advantage over Jan El Haché, who, as you rightly say, only needs to sit there in 2nd place, doesn't he?
Absolutely right, whereas Ted Bjork's got to get on with the programme, as they say, and get himself up past Esteban Guerrieri. The Honda ahead, look, as they come out of Mandarin down towards Lisboa. But Nestor Girolami looking very strong up front. He's had 2 race wins in the World Tour this year. Behind him is Jan El Haché, champion-elect, and an effort a little bit further back being made as they're going to the inside was Max Hart, trying to get himself up past Lo Seho. 9th and 10th they are. Montenegro, absolute best first sector now as he tries to recover. He's behind Martin Hart, but you're on board right now with Ted Bjork 5th, and that's Guerrieri ahead. As into the pit lane comes Norbert Mikelic, and the damage, look, is on the front right corner. That's where he was clipped by the Honda as he staggered off the grid.
Alex made the point down there on the grid that this was the scene of claiming the title last year. Investigation going on between those 2 cars, and one of them down in pit lane. Norbert Mikelic claimed his title here at Macau last year, and today things not going awfully well, and with the setup race for tomorrow's gear race, it looks as if it might be a bit of a struggle now after the car receiving attention down there in pit lane. Right, onto the right-hander at Police, onto Moorish corner, right-hander, and then to the long left-hander at Donna Maria after this, which has over the years caught out quite a few touring car drivers on the exits of that corner. The barrier is so close, it's so easy just to brush the car on that left-hand side, and then it all goes wrong. Right, everybody neatly through, that's good news. On to Donna Maria they'll go, and then into the Melco hairpin. And it's a tight squeeze to get around the single file hairpin here at Macau. Unique in the fact that no overtaking is allowed as they go around the hairpin, and then the circuit opens up.
Does indeed. Down the Fisherman they come. Mikael Ashkener in 3rd place, not staying on the back of El Haché, but he is keeping Guerrieri at bay in 4th place then. Josh Buchan, the Australian driver, is up into 8th place. He's made a bit of progress off the start, and Santiago Urrutia, also from penultimate, has now put himself into 13th, chasing after Aurelien Comte. As the leaders then come over the timing line, it is up front Girolami from El Haché. The margin between them is 0.8 of a second. Mikael Ashkener runs 3rd, Guerrieri 4th, and that's Ted Bjork going through in 5th. And there's not a lot, seemingly, that Bjork can do about Guerrieri right now as the cars head down towards Mandarin once again. Bjork not close enough to the Honda to think about a move. Look at this, that's the gap. Fight to the car, 6th gear out of Mandarin, up against the barriers. Bjork has been a winner at Macau in the past, and they come now down again towards Lisboa. He feints to the inside, might be a little bit nearer to Guerrieri by the time they hit the braking zone, but certainly not close enough to attack.
And Ted Bjork, a former FIA World Touring Car champion, claimed the title here in 2017 at Macau. And as they now thread their way up through the tight and twisty section of the circuit, not a place for overtaking for many of the disciplines that we get here at Macau. However, touring cars sometimes do squeeze their way through. Let's have a look at the start.
Keep an eye on Norbert Mikelic on the second row of the grid, look, because as the cars accelerate away, he makes a really slow start. Here comes Guerrieri, and he goes for a gap in the middle. The gap closes. There's contact between them. That, I think, may well have done a tyre for Mikelic. Guerrieri was lucky to get away with that because the car had to be fought out of a big slide, and he is still in the mix in fourth place, so completely undaunted. Guerrieri, look, comes up. Now, where did Montenegro lose all of his time? Because he was nearly in third place there, going into Mandarin. He gets hung out to dry a little bit on the outside. There's Ashkener up the inside, Björk in the middle, Montenegro in number 1, 2, 3 on the outside line down to Lisboa. And I think he just got the wrong part of the track, didn't he? Guerrieri really brave up the inside, and yeah, Montenegro hung out to dry on the outside and throws away many of the places he won in qualifying.
Yeah, as you rightly say, Ted Bjork was shuffled down as all of that happened, but also lucky to still be going, because it could have gone horribly wrong for second in the championship, Ted Bjork. By the way, on the previous lap, Jan Alaché put in the fastest lap of the race. They are trading fastest sectors on the gear circuit, but a 2:31.509 for Jan Alaché just brought the gap down between himself and the race leader, Girolami, by a tenth of a second. But what it looks like at the moment is that everything is going absolutely okay for Jan Alaché, and the two of them are putting a bit of distance between himself and Ashkener in third.
There's Bjork trying to come back at Guerrieri. So Alaché, the fastest man on the circuit last time around, but now Girolami does the fastest lap of the race, and the gap between the top two is up to 1 second. Ashkener is third, Guerrieri, Bjork, and then Ma, before you get Montenegro, Buchan, Loseho and Max Hart to round out the top 10. Pepe Oriola is in 11th place, ahead of Urrutia, Macmillan, and there is no further action concerning the incident between Guerrieri and Mikelic. It's a racing incident, understandably, as there's a slow car and a quick car trying to go for the same bit of tarmac. Good drive, though, this so far, is it not, by Nestor Girolami? He's been a winner at the Bend in Australia. He's been a winner at Valencia, and a very different type of circuit here. He is leading at the gear circuit at Macau.
They're very caring and sharing, aren't they, touring car drivers? Because they are all sharing overall best in the different sectors. No one driver is going purple over all 5 of the sectors around the 6-kilometre circuit of the gear circuit here at Macau. At the moment, it's Urrutia making his way up the order from the very back of the grid, who has the overall best in Sector 1. Overall best in Sector 2 is Ted Bjork down there in 5th place, but he needs to get on with this, doesn't he? Yeah. If he needs to make these places up, he needs to do it fairly soon.
And I don't think he can. The car has not looked as quick as Alaché's car all weekend, and he is unable really to do very much at all about Guerrieri's Honda right now. 4th and 5th they are. Now, replay here of Santiago Urrutia and Aurélien Comte having a coming together. Urrutia around the outside, and he was able to survive, and that gave him 12th place in formidable fashion.
So, Girolami it is that leads and has extended his gap over the championship leader, Jan Alaché, by a tenth on that last lap, because he now has taken away the overall fastest lap of the race, a 2:30.853 for Girolami, who leads the race to pole position and therefore 1 second ahead of Jan Alaché. But Jan Alaché is not going to be too worried about that. He's doing absolutely what he needs to do. Ted Bjork, all the pressure is on him. He's just put in the overall best in Sector 2, has Ted Bjork. Guerrieri has got the overall best in Sector 3. And as we said before, Urrutia, in his attempt to make his way up the order from the very back of the grid, has gone overall best in Sector 1 as well. And that incident that we were just looking at, that has been noted as well.
So Girolami now being caught slightly on that last lap by Alaché as Urrutia goes through. Good drive this by Santiago Urrutia, because he's edging his way forward all the time. He's now onto the back of Pepe Oriola. Urrutia did an absolute best Sector 1 on that last lap, so he's now in 12th place and 11th beckons against the slightly race rusty Pepe Oriola, the team manager of the GOAT racing team. So the Spanish driver ahead at the moment. Meanwhile, the leaders work lap number 5, and here you've got the fight going on for 11th place. So it is Honda versus the Lincoln Co. As Oriola tries to cover off the inside line. Urrutia goes to him, dives out to the outside at the last possible moment to go all the way around the outside into Lisboa. He's done it once, he tries it again, there's contact, he gets sideways, he survives, and Oriola up the inside line, hangs onto the place. And here behind the pair of them also, you can see, comes the traffic to try to get by. But Urrutia, that time, got caught out by it. His efforts on the outside, that time didn't work.
Going to see this again, and you can hear the roar from the grandstand as the manoeuvre is set up. Oriola in the 174 car, Urrutia in 112 on the outside into the right-hander. The nudge between the two of them beautifully slid around the corner and avoided the barriers on the outside of Lisboa, and that was when we got the roar from the crowd. They enjoy their touring car racing here at Macau.
And that's been noted as well, but it's just hard racing, isn't it? And Urrutia knows he's got to try. He's quicker than Oriola, and he had to have a go somewhere. So it was Aurelien Comte in the Cupra that was closing up, and he's almost stayed with them. But down the hill they drop. Pepe Oriola just ahead then of Santiago Urrutia. Honda versus Lincoln Co. 11th place, they're squabbling over.
It's not often you see cars drifting around Lisboa, is it? But that was very well saved, and situation avoided there. They're still going at it side by side. My goodness, is there room for them? Is there enough tarmac? Yes, but only just, as they continue to be absolutely locked together through this tight and twisty section of the circuit. Pepe Oriola bringing back all his memories, and all in a bit of a flash here around the streets of Macau, and at the moment he's still in front.
He's the cork in the bottle, though, because not only is Urrutia stuck behind him, Comte has caught up, Macmillan has joined them as well, and you've got to give credit to Urrutia because he is not afeard of the circuit, is he? Anywhere he thinks there might be an opportunity, he tries to have a go. So Pepe Oriola comes out of Fisherman's. The leaders have just gone across the line, by the way, now to complete lap number 5 out of the 10. And here comes Urrutia. The move at Lisboa starts now. He needs to get a good run through this part of the circuit, coming out of our bend, to stay with him, to be in the wheel tracks. Over the line goes the Honda. And in terms of a lap time, that last lap by the Honda is a 2:35, 4 fractions quicker, thousandths quicker only, was Santiago Urrutia, who again dives to the outside line, down towards Mandarin. Don't think he's level enough to think about a move on the outside line there. No, he's not. So Oriola moves back across, takes the line for the corner. Still, nose to tail they run. Aurelien Comte is there behind them, waiting for it to end in tears. It nearly did last time. Again, Oriola dives to the inside to cover off that. Urrutia goes to the outside. It nearly worked last time. He's trying it again. Wait for the contact. No, not this time. He bails out of it. He knew it wasn't going to work, so he gave Oriola the room.
But you could hear the roar from the crowd once again on the run down towards Lisboa. It's such a great overtaking position, and you can see it right the way down the circuit. It gets itself set up, the move down at Mandarin, and then they come into the view of those in the grandstand. And Urrutia, once again, this tight and twisty section, we said at the start of the race that the touring car drivers are one of the only disciplines that can really have a look at making a place up on this tight and twisty section of the circuit. But you have to be brave, oh so brave, and it could go as well horribly wrong. But Urrutia is absolutely the annoying shadow.
You can see the pressure that Oriola is under, because look how much more movement there is in that Honda. Through a corner, it's a little bit wider. It takes maybe a second or so more to get it back onto the right line. Meanwhile, this is for the lead, and the gap's come down a little bit, where El Haché has caught up to Girolami. Behind them, by the way, Mikael Ashkener has now done the fastest lap of the race. So it's starting to bunch up again for the race lead. This is the Melco hairpin. We're on now lap 6 out of the 10, and you can see 3 for the lead, bunching up. Behind, it is still Ted Björk. Behind him is Martin Hart. Back into the pit lane has come Norbert Mikkelich in a race to forget.
What a shame, a scene of crowning a champion, and then the following year, well, it's the highs and lows of motor racing, and he's really suffering, isn't he? Second visit to the pit lane, and Norbert Mikkelich, his car pushed back in pit lane. This is not a good sign. He knows the mountain that he'll have to climb tomorrow is going to be a fairly steep one, as 129. Nestor Girolami comes across the line. Gap has come down a little bit more. Once again, Ashkener has put in another fastest lap in 3rd place at 2:30.553. And what of this battle between Oriola and Urrutia as well?
Here they come, nose to tail. It's still the Honda just ahead as Santiago Urrutia comes over the timing line behind him. The Honda then ahead that lap through by about 0.3 of a second. And this, for the race lead, is going to have a change for second place as Mikkel Ashkøne breezes past Jan Erlaché, who does not need to fight. He knows he's ahead of Ted Björk. There is absolutely no point in getting in the way. He wants to tick this race off, win the championship, and then tomorrow he can just go out and relax and enjoy a race without having to think about points, without wondering if there's any drama around the corner. Meanwhile, drama beckons again. Oriola versus Urrutia. Down to Lisboa they come. And Pepe Oriola is ahead. Urrutia tries to go to the inside up towards San Francisco, then the outside, and neither of them work.
Is trying absolutely everything down at Lisboa. Absolutely fascinating battle between the two of them as they go down to Lisboa lap after lap after lap.
This is looking back from Erlaché's car at Mikkel Ashkøne, and with a flash of the lights, Mikkel says, "I'm on my way," and Jan Erlaché just lets him go. Absolutely no fight required. He's after a championship here. It doesn't matter where he finishes as long as he's ahead of Ted Björk. So a Hyundai 1-2 in the race is one thing, but for Jan Erlaché to keep out of trouble and win a championship, that's more important.
And also we know that Ashkøne qualified kind of out of position for where his pace had been thus far, and Jan Erlaché will well know that, and Ashkøne lap after lap after lap during this race has been putting in the overall best lap of the race. So Erlaché knows, I don't have to fight him. I know he's quicker over the course of this weekend, so I'll let him through and then hopefully have an incident-free race for the remaining 3 laps.
Now, Santiago Urrutia has tried the inside, he's tried the outside, he's almost tried going over the top of Pepe Oriola. He has a look on the inside of Donna Maria. It ain't going to work, but what he's also trying to do is unsettle the Spanish driver to hope that he makes a mistake that opens the door a little bit. He's also mindful that Aurélien Comte is storming up behind him once again as they come into the hairpin. Very, very wide approach, almost skimming the barrier there, Oriola. Flicks it through the corner. Urrutia hangs out the back of the car as he boots it at the hairpin, drags the rear of the car round. But actually Oriola getting away by a length or 2 possibly on that lap. The leaders now are on lap 7 out of 10. They've just gone over the timing line to start lap number 8, and this fight rages on still behind them. So now Girolami versus Ashkøne. Now we heard, didn't we, from the Cyan Racing drivers that it was a fair fight. What about between the Hyundai twins? Girolami versus Ashkøne. All of a sudden we've got a different situation looming with the quick Ashkøne bearing down on his teammate. Is this going to be a fair scrap between them? And
Ashkøne did look brutally quick there as they rounded that corner, as they head down towards, this is Max Hart, by the way, and Max Hart right on the tail of Lo Si-ho. And Max Hart in the car to the right of your screen, heads through Lisboa up towards San Francisco Hill. And okay, for a guy that this time last weekend was having a bit of a weekend off, he's having a rather exciting race.
It's not done yet, is it? Lo Si-ho is always pretty quick around here. We've seen that in the past. He's always been one of the front runners within the local either TCR China or TCR Asia categories that have run in the past for the Macau Touring Car Cup. One year we had both TCR Asia and China plus the World Tour. They've got going through the Australian driver Josh Buchan, who has been a winner in the championship back home, as well as race winner in one of his occasional visits into the World Tour this year. Now, this is Jan Erlaché hard at work and ticking off the laps. The team will be on the radio, and this is going to give him an advantage of 40 points, which is enough to secure the championship with a race to spare. And we reckon we've got Urrutia past Oriola. Let's check. It was down at Lisboa, and Oriola goes in deep and opens the door, and Urrutia finally is able to get up the inside, and he's had to work hard for that. Applause.
And again, you can
watching the replay,
hear the grandstand. Yeah, they've been absolutely enthralled by that battle race long, and finally Urrutia gets through in not a very usual overtaking position, so you might think it was going to take place at Lisboa. Well, no, I couldn't get through there. I tried a number of times. Let's have a look at San Francisco Hill. Yeah, okay, we'll do it there.
But part of that was Oriola making the mistake, and we said a lap or 2 ago, didn't we, about some of those moves by Urrutia not being really challenging moves other than to try to put the pressure on and force the mistake out of Oriola, and that's what happened. The leaders go by then. This puts us on to lap number 9. 2 to go, and it is Girolami versus Ashkøne now for the race lead. Erlaché 3rd, Guerrieri 4th, Björk the vanquished 5th, and Mar in 6th place.
So this lap and one more to the conclusion of our first race of the weekend for the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour event here at Macau, and on board with Guerrieri. It's good to get these onboard shots from the touring cars because you get an idea when you're on board just how tight and demanding this next section of the circuit here at Macau is about to be. They go around San Francisco, they go up the hill, which, as you know, David, you run it, is quite a hill, isn't it?
Yeah, even there, when you go over the brow, it doesn't really flatten. It still climbs a little bit. Finally, when you do go over the crest, it's a bit of a relief. The two leading cars then nose to tail as they get to maternity, after which the road does drop downhill. And they blast their way now down through towards the Solitude S's ultimately, and then onto Faraway Hill. Now it is Girolami ahead of Ashkener, and Mikkel Ashkener has about a lap and a half in which he can either make a move or settle for second place, and Girolami could be on for a third victory of the season.
We talked earlier on, David, about the quality field that we've got, and proof of this is that we have lap after lap after lap. World touring car drivers, world-class touring car drivers, can keep it all together, can't they? There are so many potential pitfalls around the gear circuit here at Macau, and avoiding them for 10 laps is quite something, and we are almost there.
Yeah, exactly right. We've had a safety car in an F4 race today. We've had 3 safety cars and not one full racing lap in the local road sport race, and it looks like this is going to go to the checkered flag with experienced drivers, and it makes a big difference. In third place, Jan Erlaché being caught a little bit maybe by Esteban Guerrieri. Girolami is being caught by Ashkener, and you've still got to say that leading quartet is a close one. Now, is that because Girolami is driving well within himself, or is he now struggling for pace? I think he's driving within himself, because here down to Fisherman's he's able just to extend by a couple of lengths, isn't he, again over Ashkener. They're going to come through our bend in a moment with one more lap to go. It is going to be Nestor Girolami looking for him, win number 3 of the year, but for Jan Erlaché, he's a lap away from the title.
Certainly is, yeah, going on to the final lap here on the streets of Macau. Across the line they go. Girolami leads from Ashkener, Erlaché in second place, and then across the line goes Guerrieri, Ted Bjork down there in 5th place, and Martin Roy completing the top 6. Final lap then, is Ashkener going to try anything, or is Girolami going to take it from pole position to checkered flag here in the final, on the final lap of the first race of the weekend for the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour here at Macau? Well, Ashkener right on the tail as they go into Lisboa, but no attempt to make the position change going into the perfect overtaking place on the circuit. Every other potential overtaking place is going to be incredibly brave.
We've got a yellow at Lisboa on this last lap of the race. Mikkel Ashkener then 7th, and Ignacio Montenegro has had another trip up the escape road. He was doing that quite a lot on Thursday, as was Esteban Guerrieri. Alex referred to it on the grid. And so Nestor Girolami comes through the end of Sector 2, still in the lead. Ashkener looks as though he is the little quicker, but Girolami can do exactly what he wants across the mountain section, if you like, because it's so hard to overtake, and then he can up his pace a little bit down Black Sands and up towards the checkered flag. But Ashkener has had a good recovery from a disappointing qualifying yesterday, and Erlaché has just done a personal best Sector 1 on this lap, as he is tantalisingly close to being the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour champion.
I was going to say, looks like he's a lot closer to the lead battle, but as I say, Lisboa is the perfect overtaking opportunity. Anything else is a bit of a risk around the streets of Macau, but touring car drivers do try it, and sometimes it works. On board with Jan Erlaché, started second, down here in 3rd place. He didn't fight to keep hold of second place. He knew he just needed to be ahead of Ted Bjork, who comes up towards the Melco hairpin now. And all of that was resolved on the opening lap of the race. Final few turns, here we go. Race leader Girolami heads down towards the conclusion of the final lap.
Checkered flag is going to be at the ready then. It's going to be a Hyundai 1-2, and Nestor Girolami is going to be able to hang on, it seems, to a very impressive race lead. It was a good qualifying that put him on a pole position. It's going to be a maiden victory at Macau for him. They come through the corner. Race 1 of the weekend is going to be won by Nestor Girolami. The championship is going to be won by Jan Erlaché, who crosses the line in 3rd place. Championship won, pressure off. His rival Ted Bjork finishes 5th, and Jan Lachey has done everything that was required. He had to stay ahead of his teammate, and he has done exactly that.
Word also for Mikkel Ashkenaut, crossing the line in 2nd place, some half a second behind Girolami. By the time they got to the checkered flag, he was showing great pace. Big thumbs up from Jan Lachey. He's going to be happy about being able to, and now I think the penny drops. He's done it. He's done what he needed to do, kept everything neat, kept everything tidy, and then the emotions start on this slow down lap. And another thumbs up for the camera, which is in the car. And realisation is realised down in pit lane, and the Lincoln Co team can enjoy the celebrations.
Kathy Muller, who raced here in Formula 3 in the Grand Prix, Jan Lachey's mum, and a very competitive racing driver herself. But Jan Lachey, then the new champion, no stranger to winning titles, but this is another important one. It's a long, hard season in the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour, and the format, some events have 2 races, some have 3. And it's always a test to make sure you've been able to keep racking up points. It's a long championship season, a lot of travelling involved, because as the title suggests, it takes you from Europe to Australasia and all points in between. Nestor Girolami then, a very impressive drive. Even when he had the traffic queuing up behind him, he was always able to remain in control, and that was a very impressive race win indeed. Disappointment for Norbert Michelisz, the 2nd pit stop that put him out of the race. And although the results of this race don't affect the grid for tomorrow, and therefore he will be able to perhaps be more competitive from the 2nd row once more, it's, as you were saying in the course of the race, a real contrast from last year's emotions.
Yeah, it's the highs and lows of motorsport that we talk about so very often, and so often these championships, these stories unfold and are decided around the streets of Macau. You'll never forget it, will you? Jan Lachey, as you rightly say, no stranger to winning titles in 20 and 21, FIA World Touring Car Cup champion, TCR World Tour 2 years ago in 2nd place, but this year claims the title in the TCR World Tour and does it with a race to go. Now, the interesting thing is they can turn their attentions to the important business tomorrow of etching your name on the trophy, which is the gear race title here at Macau. Not have to worry too much about championship titles and keeping things neat and tidy and defending championship points. But going all out for a victory on the streets of Macau is a mouth-watering prospect for tomorrow, David.
That, I think, is Ignacio Montenegro's Honda that has not made it to the end. You can just see it under the lighting panel, fading out of shot. So maybe he was up the escape road with a problem rather than just making a mistake. Perhaps there was an issue that caused him to go off and then became more serious on the lap and stopped him from getting to the end. So big disappointment after a good qualifying. Nestor Girolami then makes his way down the pit lane as race winner. Mikkel Ashkenaut and a very emotional, very happy Jan Lachey for 3rd place. You have to kind of feel a bit sorry for a race winner in situations like this, because all the attention goes to the champion, and Nestor Girolami must be thinking, don't ignore me. I did win the race. I did lead all the way. I didn't go up an escape road. I didn't fluff the start. I didn't hit anybody. And he took a 3rd win of the year. I
always think this, both you and I work on the domestic championship, the BTCC, the British Touring Car Championship, the final round, where very often the champion is decided. But inevitably we have a fantastic round 30, and the winner is kind of comes in isolation in Parc Fermé, because it's all about the champion.
Who won the last race at Brands Hatch?
See?
Yes, exactly. Yes. We all know Tom Ingram won the championship. And Jan Lachey, arriving here in the World Tour, is a champion at Macau. He will concentrate tomorrow on taking a race win, because that's not yet on his CV, but the celebrations are going to start very shortly as the netting's about to drop down, turns everything off, unplugs what he needs to, undoes the belts. There's quite a long process in getting out of a race car these days. But Nestor Girolami there is in the Parc Fermé area in the paddock, and Jan Lachey, as the champion, is atop the car down in the pit lane. It has been a long, tough season for Jan Lachey. And a delighted man he is. The French flag is unfurled. And great scenes down in the pit lane. And if you want to prove the strength of the roof of a Lincoln Co, well, it's happening right now because he's been stood on it for quite a long time. Finally jumps down, and the celebrations will soon begin with the team.
And the leap, the inevitable leap, and celebratory bouncing down there at Parc Fermé. The team delighted, and you know what? The Kumho FIA TCR World Tour really does attract the top touring car brains in the teams and in the drivers as well, and to see them all celebrating down there in Parc Fermé, and a family moment as well. Just lovely to see. There we go. Handshakes all around, celebrations all around. A podium will be coming up very soon, and I think we'll probably get to hear from Jan as well with Alex down there in Parc Fermé. But great scenes here at Macau.
Good drive by Michael Ashkener for second place. Yeah, at some point, Jan Elachet might be allowed to take his crash helmet off, but he's so busy having to celebrate with everybody. That's not yet happened. Nestor Girolami being escorted towards the podium. Jan Elachet will be as well, and Michael Ashkener second. Nestor Girolami, the race winner. A 1-2 therefore for Hyundai, and for Lincoln Co, yet another title.
Still got his helmet on, hasn't he?
Yeah. And you're right, the point you made during the course of the race, great to see what can be done around here with professional drivers not taking undue risks. 10 laps of good, interesting, exciting racing without dramas.
It is big thumbs up, big celebrations, loads of photographs, and loads of photographs for the family album. Something to remember, a day to remember. Professional photographers absolutely lining the pit wall there on the other side of pit lane, and the celebrations down there in pit lane, I'm sure, will be brought to a slightly premature halt in a few moments, because they will be encouraged to head their way over towards the podium, and we'll have the podium presentation. But ultimately, Jan Elachet has not yet been able to take off his helmet. There we go. Confirmation of the penultimate round of the year. Girolami takes pole position and a win as well. Ashkener takes second place. Michael Ashkener from the fourth row of the grid. Jan Elachet in third place. Esteban Guerreri in fourth place. Ted Bjork second in the championship, finished just behind. And confirmation there as well, that super battle for Urrutia from the back of the grid got up as far as 10th place, and the late call-up for Max Hart finished up in 9th place as well. We saw Montenegro's car having a problem right at the end. We are going to hear from Jan Elachet, and we're going to hear from Jan Elachet with Alex down in pit lane. A champion crowned.
4 wins, 14 podiums. This gentleman has been the most consistent driver of the whole season. Jan Elachet, you are the king of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour 2025. How does that sound?
It feels amazing. It feels very nice. It has been very intense the last couple of weeks. And to secure the title, the world title in Macau, a third one, is just, yeah, amazing feelings. Like, I can't wait to spend time with the family and the guys to celebrate this, because it was a hard job from everyone. Thanks to the team, my teammates, all the family, everyone on TV for supporting us. Special thanks to Ivan as well, that is not here this weekend, but has supported me all season. So yeah, I'm speechless. You know, being 3-time world champion, when I start racing about like 10 years ago, not doing go-kart, I would have like signed directly, and it's way above expectation. The only problem is that for the first 2 titles, the Monday after it, you just want the 4th one, and that's the circle it goes. But yeah, can't wait for next year.
Incredible. Well done. Enjoy your podium, Jan.
He refers, of course, to his uncle, Ivan Muller, touring car legend and multiple champion as well. And confirmation of the driver's standings, 40 points the advantage for Jan Elachet ahead of his title rival, Ted Bjork, some 40 points behind. That's too high a mountain to climb tomorrow. So the championship is claimed by Jan Elachet with 1 race to go. The gear race here at Macau to look forward to tomorrow. And again, it's a 10-lap race around the streets of Macau. We're about to join the highlights from our penultimate round of the year for the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour event of Macau. Sunshine beats down on a very happy grandstand here at Macau. They've had thrilling racing so far today. We started early this morning with the Motorcycle Grand Prix and then the local Macau Road Sport Challenge. A super race for the Macau Formula 4 race, the FIA F4 World Cup qualification race, and now a champion crowned for Macau gear race that we'll enjoy tomorrow, but the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour Championship decided here at Macau. Podium is coming up, and we've got two more races to look forward to after this, after we see the celebrations on the podium in just a couple of moments. Drivers getting themselves ready, taking a bit of fluid on board down in pit lane. It's very, very hot and thirsty work here at Macau in the fall sunshine, very different to 12 months ago when we struggled against the elements, rain becoming a fairly major feature last year. Not so this year, back to normal Macau weather, beautiful sunshine, smiling faces and umbrellas being used to shield from the sunshine rather than anything else. So an expectant crowd waits for the stars of that race, the penultimate race of the year for the championship. And as we wait for all of the dignitaries, the trophies and everyone to appear behind the podium, we will turn our attention to the fact that tomorrow we don't have a championship to decide because the celebrations are still taking place for Yann Lachey. The photographs are still taking place as well. And as soon as all the drivers make their way up towards the podium building, then we can get the race podium presentation completed. The photographers all settled on the stage that's made just opposite, on the opposite side of the pit lane, on the pit wall, and there are plenty of photographers down there all preparing for the podium. But with the photographs taking place and the discussions taking place down in pit lane, it will be a couple of moments before we have our podium presentation for our touring car race, the first one of the weekend. You can hear in the background all the music. The paddock is such a fun place to be here at Macau, and it's full of colour, full of smiles and full of music as well. It's a fabulous event, this, and one that all people of Macau look forward to every year. It makes day-to-day life of Macau a little bit more tricky. You can't cross the road quite as easily, but there are so many underpasses and bridges to get across the circuit. The infrastructure is set up to embrace the Macau Grand Prix every year, and it does it superbly well. A normal life in Macau continues to work. We can see just over from the commentary box all the regular traffic of Macau going about their daily business. If they're not here at Macau for the Grand Prix, there's still work to be done and pastimes to be conducted here at Macau, and the normal life just the other side of the paddock gates continues. But the crowd expectant of the podium presentation, and I think we're fairly close to getting that underway. The magic door opens, and that means that I think all of the drivers are in place and all of the dignitaries as well are in place, ready to get this presentation underway. We'll be crossing over to our podium presenter in a couple of moments. The podium for first race of the weekend for the touring cars for the Macau gear race tomorrow, the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour event. I think you can hear the crowd as well. They are expectant. Alex Agree is standing by as well to
Ladies and
hear from the drivers. Here we go.
welcome to the 72nd Macau Grand Prix Trophy presentation ceremony of the Macau Gear Race Kumho FIA TCR World Tour event of Macau Race 1. First of all, let's welcome our winning driver to join us on the podium. On the second runner-up, the winner is number 168, Jan Lescher from France. Congratulations. And our first runner-up is number 196, Mikel Azcona from Spain. Congratulations. Let's also welcome our winning driver. The winner is number 129, Nestor Giordami from Argentina. Congratulations. I would like to also invite the winning team, BRC Hyundai. Let's welcome the representative, Mr. Gabriele Luzzo, the team principal. Congratulations. And now it's time for the national anthem for the winner. I would like to invite the presenter to help us present the laurel and trophy. First of all, let's welcome Ms. Irene Wong, Senior Vice President of Public and Community Relations of MGM, to present the second runner-up laurel and trophy, please. Congratulations to Jan. Thank you. Coming up next, let's welcome Dr. Yvonne Dici, Senior Vice President of Hospitality of MGM, to first of all present the laurel and trophy to our first runner-up driver. Congratulations, Mikel. Coming up next, Yvonne, please also present the laurel and trophy to the winner, number 129, Nestor. Congratulations. Thank you. And coming up next, I would like to invite Ms. Irene Wong again. Please present the laurel and trophy to our winning team, the BRC Hyundai. To the team principal. Thank you, Gabriella. Thank you. And will all the guests please gather here at the center point. Let's take a group photo together. All right. Please gather here at the center. Please look at the center front and the official camera in front. Thank you. Perfect. Smile for the camera. And once again, a loud cheers to all the winning drivers. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, all our distinguished guests. Thank you very much. And to all the winning drivers and representatives, please remain on the podium. Please remain on the podium. Thank you. As coming up next, we would like to also present the TCR trophy for the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour in Macau Race 1. I would like to invite our presenter to also join us on the podium. First of all, let's welcome Mr. Marcello Lotti, WSC Group President, to first of all present the second runner-up.
Attention in the paddock, Macau GT Cup, FIA GT World Cup cars, paddock gate and pit exit will open in 5 minutes. Paddock gate and pit exit will open in 5 minutes.
Thank you. I would like to invite Mr. Alan Goh, FIA Touring Car Commission President, to also present the trophy to the following winning drivers. First of all, to the first runner-up. Thank you. And of course, to our winner, please. Thank you. And now I would like to invite back Mr. Marcello Lotti to also present the trophy to our winning team, the BRC Hyundai. Thank you. Please gather at the center for one more group photo. Thank you very much. Lovely. Thank you. All right. Once again, please smile for the camera at your center front. And let our media friends as well to capture this wonderful, fantastic moment for our winning drivers. All right, perfect. Thank you. Once again, thank you, our distinguished guests. Drivers, please again remain on podium. You will have an individual photo for all the drivers and winning team representatives only. Please all gather at the top of the podium. Please gather at the top of the podium and let's take this group photo together. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, feel free to grab your trophy with you as well. Please, once again, smile for the camera at the front. Perfect. We have the photo captured. And it's the champagne time. Of course, we would like to share this glory moment with all of you. Everyone, once again, a loud cheers to all the winning drivers. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations once again. And Jan, Mikkel, and Nestor, please remain here as I would like to pass the time to Chris. And let's talk a little bit to our drivers. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Janice. Right, it's a bit sticky up here. Champagne has been flowing. I'm going to chat to this man first. Jan Laka, another podium. A podium at Macau. Never mind that. It's the best third place ever because you've done enough now to wrap up the title. You are the champion. 3 world.
Weekend, no failure all year. We scored 14 podiums out of 19 races this year. And big thanks to my teammate as well that have made this possible too.